Welcome to TBS. Today I want to talk about Natalie Wood. She was a famous movie star, child star, and then regular movie star. And she died in a tragic accident on board her and her husband's yacht slash boat. It was called the Splendor, named after her best movie, the movie that did the best. That was called Splendor in the Grass. I want to kind of talk about her life and then go into the accident and see what we can find out, because no one really knows what happened except for maybe two other people and her. So I'll tell you about her and then we'll go on to the rest and see what happens. So she was born Natalia. She's actually from Russia. Her family's from Russia. And a lot of people think she's from Mexico, like Mexican American. I thought that too, but she's actually Russian. And her mom, when Natalie was born, her mom went to a fortune teller, so she says, and was told that Natalie would be a star and it would be wonderful. And she always told Natalie when she was little that that's what would happen to her. She actually was a stage mom, a dance mom. And she pushed Natalie constantly to be a famous movie star. No one in the family ate because the mom wanted Natalie to have special outfits and things, and she would hurt her if she didn't get the audition. So she was kind of like a cash cow for the family and had to perform at home and during work. So she did get work as a child actor, and her first movie that people know about is Miracle on 34th Street, which is she played the little girl that didn't believe in Santa. And from then on, her roles just got better. She was in Rebel Without a Cause too, and West Side Story, lots of different things. And so she really was a good actress. It's just that her mom pushed her constantly to become what she became. There was even an incident when she was about 14 or 15 where she was attacked sexually by another actor, and the mom said to her, "That's actually good for you because it'll mean he'll help you later." So stuff like that happened to her, and so she pretty much had to become adult overnight. And it was very odd life, She apparently did drugs early on and was with many men after that encounter. So by the time that she started dating, as in 18 years old, she had already done a bunch of things that most adult women hadn't done. And the mom really encouraged her to do anything she could to get in with famous people. It was just really bizarre. So she fell in love with Robert Wagner, who was another actor. He was a TV actor. And it was love at first sight, apparently. They got married, but she apparently found him with a guy, cheating on her with a guy. So she divorced him, married a few other people, had some kids. Then they got back together and were remarried. No one knows to this day if he's bi, gay, or straight, because he has never told anyone, and she never told anyone either. So there's that. So anyway, she's always been afraid of water, especially since she was in an accident in one of the child movies when she was a child, where she almost drowned. And she's very afraid of water also, just because her mom is and everything. And said the fortune teller told her to stay away from dark water or deep water, which of course this mom just made up a bunch of stuff, so you never know if anything she said was true or not. But Natalie was a very good girl and did whatever she was told, really. And when she got older, she kind of did the same thing to Robert, her husband. She pretty much did whatever he wanted to do, and pretty much like starved herself so that she would be the perfect look. And she was very nice to people, maybe too nice sometimes. And there's something else kind of sad that people don't know about her. She didn't sing in West Side Story. Someone else sang for her. She actually sang every single part in every single song, thinking that her voice was going to be in the movie. They told her that. But it was a lie because they wanted her to sing, to like act better. And they really just replaced her voice with another person. So that really hurt her a lot. So what we have here is a woman who has been hurt by a bunch of different people and used by a bunch of different people, but has found love and friendship and has had fun, and now has her own children, her own family, and feels like she is a good actress and has done some good stuff. She just had done Gypsy, where she played Gypsy Rose Lee, who was a burlesque dancer, and I think she was in her 40s when the accident happened. But anyway, so by all accounts, she had a great career. It's just that when actresses get older in Hollywood, they become afraid because any wrinkle, any sagging means that people are noticing it on the screen. And you may be found out, and you may be found out to be too old to get the good parts anymore. This isn't a thing that's completely true all the time. It's just that it's a thing that everyone says and could be true sometimes. And she started believing it and became very insecure. And Robert was insecure too because she did a lot better in her acting career than he did. So they both had this kind of thing going on, a very odd dynamic, but good friends as far as anyone could tell. She was going to be in a 60s style movie with Christopher Walken, who was a new up and coming actor who had just been in The Deer Hunter. And everyone was obsessed with that movie and thought he was amazing. He was a New York guy. And back then, he looked pretty attractive. He didn't look like he does now. And he didn't do like comedy and stuff that much. It was more like regular acting. And a lot of ladies liked him. Now, she befriended him on set and kind of thought of him as a younger brother, like to flirt with, but also just because they liked each other. They had a lot in common and they liked to talk. And so she invited him to come over and hang out on their boat a lot. And Richard didn't care. You know, he liked him too. But over time he became a bit jealous. And people were talking and wondering if Chris and her were having an affair. No one knows the answer to that, but her sister says no, that was not true and that they didn't like each other like that. People have asked, were they gay together? But no one knows the answer to that either. So it seems like he was married or had been married recently, but was on the outs, definitely living a single life. So Natalie didn't like to swim or anything. She just liked to be on the boat in sun and all that kind of thing. So they went out on the Splendor, and it wasn't rough waters or anything. They got drunk, all three of them. Well, they had a captain too that, took care of the boat. And while they were drinking and eating and having a fun party time, when the men started to get more and more drunk, Chris was one that would become less talkative and would want to sleep. And Richard would be one that would get really loud and obnoxious. And it was hard for her to deal with them when they were doing that. So it was a bit tense sometimes, especially because if she felt like there was a bunch of things going on out of her control and she was on the water, she became afraid. So she spent a lot of time actually talking to the captain because the guys were so drunk all the time. during this weekend. And one of the nights, I guess Saturday night maybe, they went to a bar and they all got drunk, especially her, because there was girl drinks there. And she pretty much had to be helped onto the boat. I think she was going to stay on shore or something, but then somehow she got on the boat. And what happened was, overnight, it seems as if she fell overboard and drowned. It kind of like a thing where, was she so drunk she fell off the boat, or did someone push her on accident? Was she murdered? No one knows the answer. And the guys, all three guys have said that she just had an accident and everyone was drunk, but sometimes how they act is weird and no one really knows the answer. She was found soon after. They went around in the boat trying to find her body, and then they did find her eventually. She had no bruises or anything. And her toxicology report just said that she had been drunk that night. No strangling or nothing. But the captain guy said that there was definitely screaming and yelling that she was doing around that time, like yelling at someone like she was angry, not yelling like help me. So did she have a fight with one of them and they pushed her over? Or she fell in and they were drunk and were like, haha, I'm not going to help you because you deserve to fall over, and then she drowned. People in her family said that she would never get that close to the water even if she was drunk. But you never know what people would do if they can't think properly. But what we want to find out is what actually happened to her. So I want to find out if she was murdered, it was an accident, or like a half type thing, or if no one knows because no one saw it happen. Okay, so this is kind of sad. This is pretty much saying that Richard was so jealous of her being such a better actress and getting more money and fame than him that it had started to make him hate her. And even though they had children together, that he had a secret hatred for her. And whenever she had a victory, it grew. And whenever he had a failure in his eyes, it was pretty much a self-loathing type thing, but it was also aimed towards her. And there's something about their relationship which is off, obviously, besides that. And he had been losing money in the stock market, and he had been losing money just, on average over time. And she had her own separate money because after their first marriage, she didn't ever want to deal with the money part again, so she had her own money. And it was kind of like they were living like roommates with children and having a lot of fun and being married, but there was something wrong. So he saw her as a way to get money, and also as someone that was hurting him, hurting his ego. So this is saying that that there was an opportunity for him to succeed and do well, but that a lot of times things would just happen where he would fail. But this is also saying that there was an opportunity on the boat for him to be cruel and hurt her. And let's find out if it was pushing or something. Okay. So this is talking about, he pretended to her on that night that he was going to help her get over her fear of water, and she was not having it. She didn't want to go near the edge, but he kept trying to coax her over there. And of course, he's stronger than her, so she gets to the edge and he pushes her over. He was completely aware of what her mother had always told her, that she should be aware of water, deep water. And she tried as hard as she could to get up on the dinghy boat or to hold on to the side, but because she was so horrible at and so scared, she pretty much drowned like really fast. And there was a point where, when she was dying, she saw her dad, and some kind of vision happened, but she didn't die peacefully, but she had a better death than a lot of people that are murdered, I guess you could say. And her family pretty much thought he did it, but because of the children, they wanted to still be able to see them, so they never told the police what they thought, and that was the reason why. And Christopher Walken actually went along with their wishes and didn't say anything, because he didn't know for certain anyway, but he didn't want anything wrong to happen to the kids. The captain thought about telling, and he even asked for money, but somehow Richard talked him into not telling and not giving him any money either. It was a very odd relationship between them, and maybe Richard is good at manipulating, or this man isn't very smart. It's just the guy's too trusting, and Richard had something on him, and pretty much spoke really calm to make sure that he wasn't afraid when they were talking, because he didn't know either for certain. Richard pretty much told himself that what he had done was going to give him all the money, which it did, and so it was worth doing, because she was just going to use it wrong anyway. He wanted a change in his life. He didn't see her as a lover any longer, but he also wanted to have a new life and try with someone new. I don't know if that's with a man or woman. Right after this happened, he got his biggest break of all, which was in the TV show Heart to Heart, which was in the 80s, and he did really good on that. Everyone liked him on that. This is talking about him being gay, wanting a younger lover. And he had to just kind of come to the truth about himself, that he was getting older. He wasn't going to be able to have a new, complete overhaul in his life, but that he definitely had his good TV station job now, his TV show job, and if he did want to get someone, he could. And his life was well, and his kids' life was well. But he knows that at the end, he's still alive. At the end of his life, he'll have to face the judgment for what he's done. It's kind of odd to think of Christopher Walken being silent, because people assume, and I would too, that silence means complacency. And I don't really know if that's what was going on, because children make things complicated. It's true. His son knows the answer and is pretty emotional about it. But their life pretty much went on with the lie, with Richard saying this is the truth, but it really wasn't. And the grandparents really helped out with the children. This is what he is now, the Father of Fire. So that means he's the King of Wands. He's still bullshitting. He still has the same ego. He's still the same person. He hasn't grown very much. He's been mellowed, but he hasn't told anyone what he's done. Not even a lover. And he's kept everything real tight. Everything he's done with men, he's kept to the vest. And he's had a pretty good life, and after she was gone, which is sad to say. He even found some love along the way, and he knows death is coming soon, so his time will come. It's sad to think about her being so kind and having always been on the short end of the stick, having to deal with this man. But she chose to be with him again, even though she knew it wasn't the right thing to do. She had told somebody, someone asked her, a woman asked her, why would you go back to him again? And she said, better the devil you know than the devil you don't. Which is because she had been ill-treated and cheated on by the other men she chose in between the two marriages to Richard. She was always looking for a father figure that wasn't going to be dad, and a partner. And she probably should have been with someone younger, a guy that was younger. But she despaired of being with men. And she just put all of her trust and hope into her daughters. And the son, thinking of him as the devil. So now her kids live on, and they know the answer, they know the truth. They really do know, because their dad has over time got away from them, which shows them that his love is not what he says it is to them. And they're very brave for going on without their mother, who they love very much. And there's been conflict with their dad over the years. Fights about, you killed mom. But always at the end, he would say, she would never yell, she would never do this, she would never accuse me, she always loved me, so why are you guys doing this? He was a dominator. And the Empress was gone. I mean, the world mourned because she was such a great actress and icon, and everyone loved her movies. She was a hard worker. She had willpower to succeed. She was a perfectionist. She felt like the performing monkey. She had passion. She got success. She found mentors. She adjusted her life to be able to live how she wanted to live for the most part. And she loved Richard very much. She really did. She was in love with him. And she felt joy to be with him, but also she feels joy now because she's released. And she knows the truth. She feels better being a truth person than a love person. So it's kind of like when the kids look on the water and it's dark out, they think of her all the time. They think of where she is and how she was alone pretty much in the relationship. And her heart was broken, and so was theirs. So the answer is that he did push her in. He killed her, and he has never repented for it. When people meet him, I wonder if they can tell. I don't know. But this is about Natalie, and we found out the answer from the cards. Go and watch her movies and see what you think. She was a very interesting person. And James Dean was one of her best friends until he died, because they did that movie together. I think that's neat. She really looked up to him and thought he was a great actor and studied him to be like him. So, this has been the reading, and I hope you have a great night.